How does Tom Misch sound so smooth, so unique, and so tasteful? The answer is phrasing. I've analyzed over a dozen examples of Tom Misch soloing and identified two simple concepts that are not new, but are worth focusing on and seeing how Tom implements these ideas over and over again to build a tasteful solo. These concepts are building a motif and rhythmic variation. I'll show some brief examples of each and then tie them both together with some common phrases that Tom uses in his soloing. Building a motif is a great way to start a solo. In this first example, he plays a melodic idea in an A-B form with a slight variation at the end of the last phrase. There's two patterns I want to see when I'm playing this. The F major pentatonic pattern right here, with the root being on the 6th fret, and connecting that to this D minor pentatonic pattern, which is the same as F major pentatonic. For the A section, back and forth between those two notes, and the B going up, hammer on, and slight variation for the A section going back up. And you can do the slide vibrato going between the 8th and 9th fret on the high E. Medium tempo. Repetition is practically in the definition of motif, and only through repetition can variation occur. In this next example, he plays the same phrase 3 times with subtle variations and closes it with a single note. First, we want to understand why play D sharp minor pentatonic over the key of B major. If we look at the first chord, B major 7, and take each individual note, B, D sharp, F sharp, A sharp, for the 1, 3, 5, and 7 scale degree, and compare that to the B major pentatonic scale, which is B, C sharp, D sharp, F sharp, G sharp, and back to B. Although that can sound just fine, it doesn't highlight the major 7 quality. So if I take D sharp minor pentatonic, the C sharp is a 9, D sharp is a 3rd, F sharp is a 5th, G sharp is a 6, A sharp is a 7. And that brings out the major 7 quality of that chord. And here's the lick slow. With a half-step bend right at the end there, up and down. In this last example, none of the phrases are identical, yet they are all very strongly related. See if you can identify the underlying commonality between all 3 phrases. It's all about rhythm here. Notice how the rhythm is the same, with 8th notes leading up to 3 strong downbeats in the next measure. the variation being the phrase starting a 16th note earlier each time. And to top off the continuity, the first downbeat is always F sharp at the 14th fret. Way too often are we concerned about notes when it's groove and rhythm that drives everything. Think about it. If we arbitrarily divide music up into the basic definition of melody, harmony, and rhythm, put that in a pie chart, you have your chord bag of tricks, your scale bag of tricks, and where is your rhythm or groove tricks? That's 33% of your playing, and I would argue that it's even more important than that. That brings us to our second concept, rhythmic variation. Every lick you know can be expanded, enhanced, or expressed uniquely in any situation by considering a rhythmic variation. One example is, if you have a lick that is an 8th note run, try it in triplets. Watch in these next two examples how each phrase is a different rhythm. He goes from triplets to 16th notes to 8th notes, making each phrase pop out from the next. Finally, with these concepts in mind, having a few patterns under our fingers besides a basic linear scale movement will add excitement. One common pattern that Tom uses is what I call ascending scale back or descending scale forward. Here's a few examples that may sound familiar. Second is the 9th slide back, referring to playing the pentatonic scale and sliding from the minor third back to the 9th scale degree. I hope you got some cool ideas from this video. Be sure to subscribe to support the channel, and if you would like all 9 licks slowed down, exclusive lessons, and jam tracks, check out my Patreon in the link below. Keep jamming that guitar and stay soulful.